Yeah, I think I could get used to this.
What are you doing? Actually, this is my show.
Not tonight, it's not. Welcome to the And We Vote episode of Late Night Long Beach.
Late Night Edition. To kick off this collaborative episode, we're having an And We Vote game show. Today's game features our very own Jenn and Skeeter. Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Did you guys vote?
I did vote. Yeah, I voted with my mom in my neighborhood, so that was pretty great.
I voted. I voted good.
What do you guys think about the results?
I think a lot of things. I think we're all very surprised by the results.
Yeah, I was really surprised. My Donnie did it. The system is rigged, and he did it. We're gonna make America great again. We're gonna do it. My Donnie's gonna do it.
It's gonna be an interesting episode tonight. So let me tell you how this game works. I'll read off a question about a hot topic in politics today. You two will have 15 seconds to work out a solution together. If you come up with a reasonable solution, you will win democracy. But if you cannot come up with a solution, nothing will happen. Just like when you vote for a third-party candidate, but the rest of the country forgets.
So true. I'm looking at you, Dad.
You guys ready to play?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's get started. Here's the first question. There's 4 more years until this next election, and that means rapid changes like technology. With new methods of communication, it's possible that we might not vote with pen and paper like we do today. With technology like phones and virtual reality, how do you think voting can change in the future so that it's more accessible to everyone? 15 seconds on the clock. Take it to the floor.
Okay, well, I didn't vote with pen and paper. Did you vote with pen and paper?
Of course I did.
Okay, wait, do you have social media? Because we could use social media probably if technology's changing.
Hey,
we could do
if it ain't broke,
survey.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This country was built on pen and paper, and we're gonna keep it that way.
This country is built on a lot of things. Time's up. What's your solution?
Well, okay, my solution would be something like have a survey on Facebook or something where you fill out all the answers and it's like, what president are you
we
most
keep
like?
it the way it is, and we just keep it the way it is. You think Thomas Jefferson, he polled on Facebook? No, he went down to his local polling booth and he voted. He voted right there good.
You know, I can appreciate the classics. You know, thank you guys so much for that. Let's move on to the next question. Since Election Day is during the week, sometimes it's difficult for students to find time in between classes to go vote. For students with disabilities, it can be difficult for them to find efficient transportation to get them to their nearest polling station. How can we as a country improve college student voter turnout? Should there be polling stations on campus, or should the day be treated as a holiday so students can be excused from schoolwork and go to the polls? 15 seconds on the clock. Take it to the floor.
You know what, I think that I like both. I think that it should be optional school day and there's voting booths out on campus.
We don't need no new holidays. We don't need that. I voted. I'm a student. I voted.
I know, but what if you have class and you can't get out of class and there's that one professor that just hates
up.
you?
What's your solution?
No.
No days?
Just no?
No.
Definitely have optional school day and voting booths on campus.
We don't need no more vacation.
I wanted that. I thought there would be.
We don't need that.
But aren't you concerned that people won't be able to exercise their American right?
I exercise my right. I don't know why you can't. I don't know.
You know, yeah, it's because your vote's the most important, right?
Yeah, the white male is a very important vote.
Definitely. I'm sure.
It's very important.
I'm sure a lot of people would have some opinions about that. Now it's time for our speed round. I have some names on here, and then I want you to guess their ages. You ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, Hillary Clinton.
70.
64.
64. You were a little bit closer. She's 69.
Oh, okay. My girl.
Donald Trump.
55. He looks great for his
78.
age.
You think so?
Yeah,
He does. I think so.
he's
I
got
think-
that orange glow.
Yeah, I think the hair really brings it in. You won. He's 70. So you're just he's a little bit older, but he looks great. Bernie Sanders.
95.
Ooh, like 78?
95. Is that, you think that's a bit of an overshoot?
No. You see him? He's 95.
He's just off by a little bit. He's 75.
20 years make no difference.
Jill Stein.
Jill Stein. Oh my
Oh.
goodness, I don't know. I'm gonna say 60?
Jill Stein.
Who?
It doesn't matter. She's 66.
Okay.
Gary Johnson.
Oh, he's the one who like fell over as a joke, right? Gary Johnson. Let me see. I'm gonna guess 60.
Who are these people?
Do you watch CNN?
No, I watch Fox.
That explains a lot of things. He's 63. Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. 45.
64. Gotta be alive for all those Zodiac kills he did.
No, he's 45. And then we have Fox News correspondent. You might know her, Megyn Kelly.
Megyn Kelly. How old do you think she is?
She's a 10 in my book. Megyn Kelly, if you're out there,
Not 10
Call
years
me.
old though.
Megyn Kelly, don't do it.
Call
Don't
me.
do it.
I
Call
think
me
that
Megyn Kelly.
she's 40.
She's 45, not 10.
Yeah.
Is that your type?
Out of context, weird to say that.
My favorite, Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah.
Who?
33.
Who are these people? You making up names here?
No, I'm not. He's a talk show host.
He ain't talking on none of my shows.
He's 32. Stephen Colbert.
48.
55.
52. You were close. You were closer on that one. I'm proud of you.
We're making America great again.
You're getting hotter. All right, and then our last one, John Oliver.
I'm going to guess
Is he that brick guy?
41.
Yeah, he's the British guy.
55.
He's 39. You were hot, and then the last one you came in cold. I'm really sorry about that. But you gave it your best shot, and I'm proud of you for that.
Megyn Kelly, if you're out there,
Megan,
I love you.
No,
call
save
me.
yourself.
Call me, Megan.
Dignity, please just don't. Well, thank you so much for playing with us. You guys definitely won some democracy. Way to celebrate our freedom. Now, before we come back to our normal late night Long Beach episode, let's see who on campus actually voted in the election last week and who just posted that I voted sticker on Instagram. In our On the Street segment, did I vote for that? Let's go.
Yeah, USA.
Today, we're on the streets of CSULB to ask students about propositions that may or may not have been on the ballot. What do you think about the election?
I think, it's just another 4 years.
It is what it is now.
Hillary should have won.
It was the most half and half we've ever seen.
So I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about California props. Just tell me what you think about them. But Prop 50, do you know about Prop 50?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Prop 50 was the one that redirects 10 cents from all coffee sales to children suffering from caffeine addiction.
I don't remember quite reading everything.
Wow, I mean, I would have voted yes.
Okay, well, that sounds good.
I'm sure they're doing tests on that today, and we'll find out in a few years that that's horrible for all of us.
Yeah, definitely. Prop 56 lowers the age of tobacco use to 16.
It lowers it to 16?
No, you voted no on that one? Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is horrible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've realized that with even the marijuana one, there's so many extra laws to that. It wasn't just legalizing marijuana.
So one of Donald Trump's campaign promises was to repeal Obamacare and replace it with the Affordable Health Care Act. What do you think about that?
I didn't think Obamacare was all that great.
If he can put something better, then I'm all for it.
And then the last prop is Prop 69, and it's the pornography bill. And so basically what it said was that you can only show one position in porn.
One position?
Yes.
Why are you going to tell them how to do their job?
Excuse me, sir. What did you think about this? Hey, what did you think about this election? Hi, sir. How are you?
to the show. Tonight we'll be talking about the aftermath of the 2016 election. So let's get the obvious out of the way first. Can you believe that Prop 64 passed? I guess that's the one thing that will be lit in these 4 years of darkness. And of course, we should talk about the biggest upset in American history, at least since Starbucks waged war on Christmas cups, the president-elect of the United States. Now, although all of us have our own opinions on Trump, here in Southern California, they're mostly bad, so we still have to consider a lot of the aftermath. A lot like how we've been dealing with the Negan and Glenn aftermath in The Walking Dead. Like, come on, Rick, figure it out, you know? Every Sunday, I just have major anxiety. And the first of which is how many Californians are dealing with this issue. As of right now, we're caught in the first 2 stages of grief, denial and anger. The first of which can be seen with the petition on change.org, where millions of people have signed to have the Electoral College change their vote for Hillary Clinton. And although almost 4 million people have signed this petition, it won't pass, simply because the Electoral College has already voted for their candidate. The petition itself goes out of its way to show that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, so she must be president. Kind of sounds like that one guy who said the Electoral College was rigged right before the election. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But that's not all. Californians have gone to Twitter with their frustrations, classic, ending their comments with Cali exit and California. Oh yeah? How's that hashtag working for you? Why don't we just take California and push it somewhere else? Although some people might write this off as a joke, there has been legitimate California secession campaign for years. The Yes California Independence campaign has started drafting a ballot measure that would decide upon California's secession. And like a Billy Mays OxyClean commercial, but wait, there's more! In Oregon, 2 people have submitted a ballot proposal titled the Oregon Secession Act, having Oregon separate itself from the U.S. Now, many believe that such drastic measures are simply angry responses and won't be likely to pass. Then again, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing that's happened this year. And as tremendous as the responses have been to Trump, there are deeply troubling issues. Since the election on November 8th, there have been waves of universally violent events. For example, there have been multiple cases of assaults on Trump supporters, such as 2 men beating up someone who had an American flag and a Trump election sign. There was even a video of a man being pulled out of his car and beaten for being a Trump supporter, as well as graffiti in Boston stating, "Kill your local Trump supporter." There have been an outpouring of people, especially those of color, LGBTQ, Muslims, and women, who have been harassed even more so since the election. There have been a rise in hate crimes in New York, where someone tagged a school with the words, "Make America White Again." At University of Pennsylvania, African-American freshmen were added to a chat room with very racist and violent messages and images. In Ann Arbor, Michigan, police reported allegations that a man approached a Muslim student and threatened to set her on fire unless she removed her hijab. Now, there's no denying the pain and anger across the globe right now. But if this presidential election reminds us of anything, it is that we must acknowledge other people's views and be conscious of our own reactions to politics, remembering that our responses to a democratic government should promote conversation, not confrontation. Moving on, let's talk about the often overlooked propositions in California. First of which, let's talk about a different type of screwing, Prop 60. Prop 60, also known as the Condoms and Pornographic Films Initiative. It's one of the more bombastic propositions on the California's ballot. For those who are not familiar, if Prop 60 was passed, pornographic production companies would have to require preventative measures such as condoms in their films. Producers of these films would also be required to pay for certain health requirements as well as the examinations and vaccinations of performers. As the leading state, yes, California is the leading state in pornographic productions, the California Division of Occupational Safety and Health already requires the use of condoms during sex. Although this is already in place due to the passing of a Measure B in November 2012, the requirement is only enforced by Cal OSHA in response to complaints. And if this measure had passed, OSHA would have to be contacted before every single shoot, meaning they would have to watch every single frame. The #1 contributor to the Yes campaign was the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, while the No campaign had strong endorsements such as CADEM, California Democratic Party, California Republican Party, the California Green Party, and the Libertarian Party of California. Arguments in favor of Prop 60 include that actors in the business won't be held accountable for the regulations. The prop would stop outbreaks in the industry that would prevent shutdowns and delays. But who watches porn anyways, right? The arguments against the proposition pertain to the language in the bill as poorly drafted, which could result in confusion and the possibility of loopholes. Porn stars could get sued for controlled distribution rights, could potentially make performers' legal names and addresses public record, and that it would cost taxpayers lots of money annually due to OSHA's heavy involvement. And here, you would expect me to finish on a sex joke. But let's move on to California's Prop 57 that passed with 63%. The prop was titled Parole for Nonviolent Criminals and Juvenile Court Trial Requirements Initiative. The proposition had two goals. The first, to reduce already overcrowded prisons and also give them a higher chance of parole consideration. The second goal is to have judges decide whether minors as young as 14 should be tried as adults. Which some might be thinking, doesn't that already exist? Well, in 2000, California passed Proposition 21, which allowed the prosecutor and not the judge to try the minor as an adult. Which is like finding out the cop who pulled you over is your middle school bully. Like, obviously they want to ruin your life. Now, there are some issues with the Prop 57 passing. Those who are against the bill believe that Prop 57 was very misleading in nature, kind of like your Tinder profile. And according to Ballotpedia, the passing of Prop 57 could lead to over 25,000 people being let out of jail early. Some people believe that this prop is working to reclassify what a nonviolent crime is, but this is not the case for Prop 57. It would specifically permit the possibility of those who are already labeled as nonviolent offenders to early parole. The problem here is what is considered a nonviolent offender. For example, those who committed rape, lewd acts against children, and assault with a deadly weapon. According to California Penal Code, there are 23 general codes to classify what makes a crime violent. There are 2 specific classifications in the Penal Code for rape to be considered violent. This includes rape that is against someone's will by means of force or injury, and if the act is done with implication of future threats. This doesn't include people who commit statutory rape or sexual assault on an unconscious or inebriated person. Those who commit these crimes are going to be considered non-violent offenders. Now, if you have common sense, you wouldn't group someone convicted of sexual assault with that of someone listed for minor drug possession charges. However, there are multiple people who get away with this. Let's take, for example, earlier this year, Brock Turner. If you all remember, Brock Turner was charged with a sexual assault crime. His sentence was knocked down to 6 months, which was knocked down even further to 3 months, primarily because he was tried as a juvenile and his offense was labeled as nonviolent. Now, there's no obvious answer to solve this problem. It's safe to say that Prop 57 isn't the problem, since people like Brock Turner were able to avoid proper prosecution even before it was passed. However, it does make it easier for individuals to take advantage of California's flawed penal code, which we must work to amend. Now, although I'd like to turn those frowns upside down, we still gotta address some more up shit. And what's more up than the death penalty? The death penalty debate has grown controversial, so controversial, that it called for 2 opposing propositions on the 2016 California ballot. Prop 62 proposed replacing with a life prison sentence and no chance of parole, whereas Prop 66 would accelerate the process. Since the California's law enactment in 1978, only 15 of the 930 individuals who have been sentenced to death were executed. This is due to many factors, including the fact that trials outnumber lawyers and judges, as well as the high cost of keeping those charged in solitary confinement. There is also strict procedure of lethal injections, and depending on the final results of the recount, the public may lose their say on how the executions are carried out. This is part of the reason why the last time the death penalty was carried out was a decade ago. The LA Times editorial board advocated yes on 62 because even for those who are not against capital punishment, the system is highly inefficient. Kind of like when you try to turn on the shower in any other place besides your home, like it's not possible. It's never been possible, don't lie to me because you're lying if you say it is. The major argument against Prop 66 is more than 150 innocent people in the US have been sentenced to death. The slogan for Prop 66 states, "The solution is to mend, not end, California's death penalty." It plans to fix the broken system by limiting the trial to 5 years. Habeas corpus petitions would be the first heard in trial courts, meaning the California Supreme Court will only handle direct appeals. The qualifications for attorneys would also be changed, so death row inmates will be able to get representation in a timely manner. By cutting down the time of the process, Prop 66 supporters believe it will also save millions of dollars. However, those who are skeptical predict it will have unforeseen fiscal impacts. What was created to save money may actually increase public spending. Although the majority of California voters said no on Prop 62, the preliminary results were too close to call to pass 66, as only 50.88% said yes. As the taping of this episode, it is still undetermined what will happen to the current practice of capital punishment. While many may argue for or against the death penalty itself, both sides are not happy with the way it is currently. Now, this leads us to the end of our episode, and if you're still with us and didn't click on the newest episode of Long Beach Sketch in the suggestion box, which by the way is hilarious, unlike the last 5 minutes of this show, then congratulations! You've successfully made it through over 5 minutes of content that wasn't intended to be entertaining in the traditional way. Bringing it back to our first discussion. We must reiterate that the state of our democracy relies on our citizens being educated on their party's policies and able to acknowledge another person's views. And even though a good amount of us are currently horrified by our country being run by a racist, sexist, personified Cheeto Puff, there is at least some silver lining to this scenario. Joe Biden and Barack Obama memes. I love them. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, 49ers. Be sure to stay informed, remain hopeful, and continue conversation rather than violence. I'll see you all next time on Late Night Long Beach.